In May 2026, the Pentagon released more than 50 declassified files on unidentified objects moving through American skies, and officials admit that at least one of them they still cannot explain. Here's why that should bother you more than it sounds like it should. This file wasn't recorded over some remote desert or a foreign war zone. It was captured over Ohio, inside U.S. Northern Command's own area of responsibility, which means whatever this was, it moved through ordinary American airspace and nobody could identify it in real time. An infrared clip, barely 90 seconds long, a congressional hearing, given under oath, a senator who said more than he was supposed to, files sealed for years and unsealed all at once, and one detail, buried more than 40 pages into the release, that changes how you read everything before it. We'll call it the Ohio Anomaly, and by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why that name fits better than UFO ever did. To understand why this file matters, rewind to July 26, 2023, when a former intelligence officer named David Grush sat before Congress and testified under oath that the United States had observed unidentified objects it could not explain, some of which, he said, remained unresolved to this day. His testimony was reported by the BBC, Reuters, and the New York Times, and what stood out wasn't what he claimed, it was what nobody in that room stood up to deny. No official called it nonsense, no one said the case was closed. Instead, the language from every agency involved, the Pentagon, the White House, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, NASA, the Department of Energy, the FBI, stayed carefully, deliberately vague. But that's not where this gets strange. After that hearing, congressional pressure for transparency didn't fade, it grew. And the result 3 years later was this. In May of 2026, a coordinated release of more than 50 videos and files tied to what the government now formally calls Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAP. The Pentagon's own tracking shows the public response was enormous. The site hosting these files has logged more than 1 billion views since the first documents went up. That's not a fringe curiosity. That's a huge portion of the public actively trying to understand something their own government won't fully explain. So by this point, we know a legal hearing happened under oath, and we know a mass declassification followed it. But one question still didn't make sense. Out of 50-plus files, why did only one refuse to close? Most of the 50-plus files released that month follow a familiar pattern. Blurry footage, a plausible explanation attached, case closed. A weather balloon here, a drone there, a sensor glitch somewhere else. But the Ohio anomaly breaks that pattern completely. It's a video just under 90 seconds long, captured in November of 2022 near Columbus, Ohio, using an infrared sensor system. It shows an object moving in a way that the government's own investigative unit, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, reviewed and could not assign a definitive explanation for. Not weather, not conventional aircraft, not confirmed drone activity. AARO's own language is careful. The footage was likely captured using an infrared system, and no determination was made regarding the object's nature. In plain terms, the agency built specifically to explain these things looked at this one and came up empty. And here's the detail that should really unsettle you. This isn't just an American pattern. In the United Kingdom, the Ministry of Defense officially shut down its dedicated UFO desk years ago. Yet British reporting, including coverage by The Guardian, continues to reference declassified documents in which officials admit certain sightings were never conclusively identified. In Japan, senior defense officials stated in 2024 that unidentified aerial objects needed to be actively monitored as a matter of national security, reported by NHK and picked up internationally. In France, the National Space Agency CNES operates an entire dedicated unit, JIPAN, whose sole purpose is investigating unexplained aerospace phenomena. Different governments, different institutions, different years. The same careful conclusion everywhere. Something remains unexplained. So what actually happened over Ohio in November of 2022? Realistically, there are only a handful of explanations left standing. It could be an advanced classified aircraft, American or otherwise, being quietly tested in restricted airspace, in which case the mystery is really a secrecy problem wearing a mystery's clothing. It could be a sensor or optical artifact, a trick of infrared imaging AARO's own analysts couldn't rule out with total confidence. It could be undocumented drone activity that, for whatever reason, was never matched to a registered flight. And then there's the one possibility no official will fully rule in or fully rule out, that it's something genuinely outside current understanding. And to be clear, that's speculation, not a claim this video is making, just the single door the government's own report leaves ajar. What makes the Ohio anomaly different from the noise around it isn't a bold claim of contact. It's the opposite. It's the restraint. Every other file in that release got a label. This one didn't. And when the one agency built to explain unexplained things declines to explain this one, that silence becomes the most important piece of evidence in the entire release. As of today, no further public update has been issued on the Ohio anomaly specifically. It sits exactly where AARO left it. Unresolved, unlabeled, open. Whatever moved through that stretch of sky in November 2022, the honest answer is that after 50-plus files, a billion views, and sworn congressional testimony, nobody with the authority to say so has told you what it actually was, which leaves you holding the same open case the Pentagon itself is sitting on. So tell me, sensor glitch, classified aircraft, or the one option this file simply can't rule out? Tell me which one you believe down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. One mystery has been uncovered. Countless more remain hidden. Subscribe to Mystery Hidden